Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter with Pivotal Peace. I'm your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs. I'm also a registered legal document assistant based in the greater Los Angeles area. We're talking today about mediation mistakes. Because people mediate because they're like, ooh, it goes faster. I can save money. I can save time. It's so great. We get to decide what happens. But they make these mistakes and it just makes everything worse. So don't be like them. Learn from them and don't do that. Okay? Think of it like your older brother or sister made these mistakes. You watch them do it and you're like, ooh, that's not what I'm going to do. First, mistake number 1, not being prepared. They have a vague idea of what they want to talk about. They haven't completed any financial disclosures. They haven't really thought about what they want to do with their kids in terms of the timeshare or what they should do with property or not, or even what they're legally entitled to. So they waste a lot of time and energy. And when you waste time in mediation, you are wasting money. That time you spend in mediation should be time well spent, not hemming and hawing and not knowing what to talk about. So a big mistake is not being prepared. Know what you want. Know what you can live with and what you can't live without. Know what the judge could potentially give you so that if you get a mediated agreement, it should be that, what the judge would give you, or better. So be prepared. So you have to think through some things. You don't have to know exactly how mediation is going to go, but you have to know what you want and what you're like, I'm going to walk away and take my chances in court. You have to be prepared. And also, wasting time doesn't buy you any friends or favor. Don't waste time. Be ready. Mistake number 2, being run by your emotions. Making all of your decisions based off of your emotions. Hey, it doesn't mean you don't get emotional. But I would say to you, if you feel like you're going to cry or get angry, call for a time out. If you're in physical mediation and you're in caucus and you're not in the same room as your ex, great. If you're in Zoom mediation and you're in breakout rooms and you're not in the same room as your ex, great. But if you're in a joint Zoom room with your ex, excuse yourself. I have to use the restroom. Whatever. Or can I speak to you for a moment, please, mediator? And they can excuse your spouse to the waiting room. Then let your emotions out. Don't show those to your soon-to-be ex. Don't do that. Do not allow emotions to run the day. You have to take care of the emotional divorce first before you tackle the legal divorce. It doesn't mean you won't feel emotional. It doesn't mean your emotions aren't valid, but they will mess you up. You don't want that. 3, having unrealistic expectations. My not so favorite line. I just want what's fair. I just want what's fair. My thought, why are you in mediation? Just go to court. They will give you what is fair. You don't want what's fair. You want what you want, and you want to call it fair. You have to come to mediation ready to deal, ready to trade things around, ready to get creative and come up with a different solution. So maybe it's 50-50 on paper and maybe it's not. Maybe everything's cut down the middle, but it's probably not. Things are swapped and traded. So you have to be ready to deal and expect that you're going to get some things you're happy about and there are going to be some other things that you're not going to get, or debts that you're going to be assigned that you're going to take on that you're not going to be so happy about. Remember, mediation is voluntary. You get to agree to do these things. But if you think I'm going to benefit and they're going to lose, don't do mediation. You're just going to get your heart broken again. 4, failing to consider the long-term impact of your decisions. I just have to keep that house. I got to keep that house. That's where my kids were born. I have to do that. That's all they know. And yet 3 years down the road, you can't afford the house payment and you're selling the property. And guess what? You're no longer married. So you have the huge capital gains tax where your spouse got a payout in the divorce. And because it was part of a divorce settlement, didn't have to pay capital gains taxes on it, probably. So you're screwed. Or I just want to get this done. So get out of my life, keep all your retirement. I don't want any of it. I know I'm entitled to it. And I know there's a whole bunch of retirement that I'm entitled to, but I don't really want it because just get the F out of my life. And you stuck. You don't have to rush into a decision. Before you sign your final agreement, take it to if you don't have an attorney, then take it to a consulting attorney so that they can review it. Don't rush. Make sure that these are sound legal decisions you are making. And lastly, not finalizing the agreement properly. Just because you've agreed upon something doesn't mean it's done. It's not done till you sign it and the judge signs it. So you've got an agreement, great. Now it has to be drafted in the correct way so that the court will accept it. And then once it's drafted correctly, you and your spouse have to sign it. If you have an attorney, your attorney will have to sign it. If you have an attorney, they'll draft it. But if you don't have an attorney, you're going to have to get that notarized. Then it's got to go to court, and the court's got to review it and then sign it. Okay, so it's not done till it's done. So don't just be like, we have an agreement, we're good. No. Until you get that paperwork in the mail that says you are returned to single status on this date, it is not done. So follow through. And here's the other thing. If you have a quadro that is a part of your divorce settlement, you're not done once you get that decree. You got to go get that quadro, and then you got to get the quadro put into court. And then you got to take it to the plan administrator so that you can get that piece of retirement. So follow all the steps. Finish. If you've ever done a race, do you slow down, stop, or speed up when you see the finish line? You gotta speed up. And you haven't finished until you've gone through the finish line, cut through the tape. So go through that finish line and get it all done. I'm not only a mediator, I'm a registered legal document assistant. That means I can help you get through the finish line. I can help you with your paperwork so that we can get it set up in a way that is exactly what you guys have agreed upon, in a way the court will accept so that you can celebrate, have your own little divorce party. Finish. Get it done. Don't make these mistakes.